Although relatively rare, as most people stayed in their current communities and advocated for reform instead. Following the Second Great Religious Awakening and the transformative market revolution, some individuals moved away from home and formed several notable so called Utopian communities. Founded by Mother Ann Lee, the most notable utopian community was the Shakers. One of the earliest religious communal movements, the utopian community held property in common and kept women and men strictly separate, but for marriage and sexual relations, although they separated themselves from the competitive market system. The Shakers were known for their excellent furniture making abilities. Ultimately, although the Shakers had more than 6,000 members at their peak, the community mostly died out by the mid 19th century. Fun fact, today, the last three members of the Shaker community currently reside in the state of Maine.
Oneida Communities. During this time period, the Oneida Communities were founded in Putney, Vermont. Founded by John Humphrey Noyes, a believer in religious perfectionism, in 1848, the Oneida community desired perfect social and economic equality, communal members, shared property, and later shared marriage partners. As part of Noyes' complex marriage and family relationship system within his community, every man was the husband of every woman, and conversely, every woman was the wife of every man. Through this system, Noyes hoped to dissolve selfishness. Additionally, Noyes and his followers also believed that the second coming of Jesus Christ had already occurred. As a result of their philosophies and beliefs, the Oneida communities were forced out of Putney, Vermont, and as a result, they moved to Oneida, New York. Later, after Noyes' passing in 1886, the remaining members founded Oneida Community Ltd., a joint stock company known for the manufacturing of silver cutlery such as silverware. Amana communities. The history of the Amana communities date back to the early 18th century in present-day Germany, stemming from a religious movement known as Pietism. Originally, the Amana names themselves the Community of True Inspiration. However, facing religious persecution for rejecting actions such as military duties, state-required oaths, and church rituals, the Amana relocated to Buffalo, New York. Later, in 1855, the Amana colonies moved to the Iowa prairies where they still exist today. As a communal colony, the Amana allowed marriage and supported themselves through farming and production of wool and calico. They were also known for their high-quality craftsmanship. Ultimately, as a result of the Great Depression and other factors, the Amana ceased practicing their communal ways of living in 1932 and began living with the rest of society. Next up, phalanxes.
In 1821, Charles Fourier published his influential book, A Treatise on Domestic and Agricultural Association. In it, he advocated for communities organized into phalanxes, freed from private ownership in order to provide economic comfort, social justice, and individual fulfillment while resolving the differences among capital, management, and labor. Additionally, Fourier advocated for free love, a movement that pushed for the separation of the state and law from sexual matters like marriage, birth control, adultery, and even homosexuality. Although not all free love advocates agreed on these issues. Free love advocates also advocated for women's rights with the support of birth control and dislike of the patriarchy instilled in marriage. Finally, in the 1840s, the theories of Charles Fourier, which advocated that people share work in housing in communities known as Fourier phalanxes, amidst this fiercely competitive environment, attracted the attention of many Americans. This movement eventually died out, however, because Americans quickly proved to be too individualistic to live communally.
My family and all my wives, so talented. Oh God, yeah. I don't know. I'm not interested in those things actually, but yeah. But as a voyeurism, if you want to talk about that, I would be much more interested. But for now, I don't want any of that. Thank you. You can keep your wives to yourself. Actually, I want nothing to do with that.
I love this gathering of utopian communities. It allows me to express the ideas, beliefs, and customs that come from my community. How beautiful.
To be frank, all I really want to do is study Victorian literature and immerse myself in the fundamentals of my utopian community. And I can't do that with Onera walking all over the... That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Alright, settle down, Utopian buddies. We'll begin the meeting shortly. Alright, so how's everyone been?
You know what we should be talking about? We should be talking about Charles Fourier's book, A Treatise on Domestic and Agricultural Association. So essentially what it's about communities being broken up into phalanxes, which are without private ownership. So that creates economic development, it creates individual fulfillment, it creates social justice, while making sure there's no difference between capital, management, and labor. Like, isn't that amazing? Like, the knowledge that he holds and etc., all that stuff.
No one cares, phalanges.
Well, I've been great. I've released a new single called Shake It Off, named after me. Here it is. Yeah, that's it.
Very nice. It doesn't radiate enough perfection, not as much as our founder, John Humphrey Noyes. He founded in the center of the Second Great Awakening, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah, same here. I was so tired of facing persecution from our religious customs and rejecting military duties, state-required oaths, and church-run schools for their children in Germany. Very grateful, we moved to Buffalo, New York, and began living our simplistic communal lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree. Simplistic communal lifestyles for people like us.